So if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I'm the biggest fucking fanboy of Tokyo Ghoul that you will ever see in your fucking life. That series is really fucking good. If you've read it, watched the 12 episodes, it's sort of a in-between thing. You don't know. It's either you're either in one or two camps. You're either the person who really likes it because it's cool and fun to watch, and a little bit interesting with its tragedy aspects and how no character is really perfect. There's no real good guy. Everybody's a bunch of fuckwits. But beyond that, there are people who won't watch it because it's brutal. It's, this happens, I don't like this character, I don't like how this was designed or whatever. And I understand that because the quality of a series really, at least in terms of what you think about the series, will always be up to your own personal decisions on what you think this series should have been like, if it met your standards, if it really exceeded your standards like it did with me. But the reason I'm mentioning all this is because everybody in Naruto community knows Naruto's coming to an end really soon. It's in like a couple of weeks, and people are looking for a place they can go to sort of fill up that hole. And while Tokyo Ghoul isn't exactly a series like Naruto where it sort of stretches out for 15 years and, it's nice and not always, I shouldn't say kid-friendly because it's not, but it always comes down to the good guy beating the bad guy because he has the power of friendship. No, Tokyo Ghoul is none of that shit. Naruto is child's play, at least in terms of morals and messages, in comparison to Tokyo Ghoul, because Tokyo Ghoul does not fuck around. And this is where I'll sort of get into reviewing it, because I want this shit to spread. I want this series to become as big as it deserves, and it really does. So, basically, if you don't know the plot of Tokyo Ghoul, it goes a little bit something like this. There's this kid named Kanagi. He's a second-year college student. He's in a coffee shop. He likes to read. He's reading in the coffee shop. It's not a Starbucks. Fuck you for making that joke, because I know some of you will. But he's reading in a coffee shop, and he comes across this woman. This woman's name is Reese. And she is also really interested in books. Just so happens to be the same novels that Kanagi are reading. And they sort of hit off based off that, and they eventually decide to go on a date of their own, because they're college kids. They gotta have a social life somewhere. In the meantime, there are these creatures called ghouls. Ghouls look exactly like humans, they talk like humans, they act like humans in most cases, with the exception of one pretty fucking important little detail. They have to eat human to survive. I say human because they don't have to devour the whole person. They only have to eat a little bit. That could be flesh, organs, whatever they can salvage to survive. They can't survive without it, because the food that the humans produce, just straight up food, hot dogs, hamburgers, whatever you want to use as an example, they literally cannot eat it because it makes them sick. It's impossible to eat. They can't survive off that. They have to eat humans to survive. Now, the reason I mention all that is because while Kanagi and Reese are on this date, shit goes wrong. Basically, Reese is a ghoul. Not just a ghoul, but a ghoul that's catching a lot of public attention, and I'll bring that up later. What happens, Reese, through the whole first episode, is displayed as this, nice, typical, really nice person who, is real mild-mannered and always bows her head and says, yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, and all that. And then all of a sudden, she bites the shit out of your shoulder and is trying to eat you. That's basically what happens to Kanagi. Now, Kanagi is a lucky little shit, because what happens is, while he's getting attacked, he gets thrown into a construction site. She follows him and ends up getting crushed by a bunch of steel pillars that are dropped from a crane in the middle of this construction site, and just so happens to land on her. The issue is, the amount of damage she's already done to Kanagi is fatal. He's going to die. He goes to the hospital, is lifted through ambulances and all that, and he needs organ transplants. Now, where do you think he's going to get those organs from? Because if you know anything about hospitals, you know the waiting list for organs is incredibly long. It can span weeks, months, even years in the absolute worst of cases. They can't wait for Kanagi because he's going to die. He's missing blood. His kidney is already completely blown out, disfigured. Whatever she did fucked him up really good. So Reese, they don't know she's a ghoul. They take the organ from Reese and transplant it into Kanagi, and that basically turns him into half ghoul because he has ghoul parts inside of him. It mixes with his innards. It mixes with his innards, and he becomes a ghoul. And then the whole series, at least the anime, up until episode 12, is all about Kanagi trying to balance himself between being himself, his human self, who he's been for however old he is, I think he's 19, who he's been for 19 years, or this new form of himself that he can't help. He's starving. He can't eat because of his morals. He refuses to eat humans. And the whole series is just played up as this huge, tragic, really emotionally gripping story that if you have not read or watched, you need to watch. I'm leaving out a bunch of details for the sake of spoilers. And I know people will mention that in the comment section. They'll be like, oh, the surgeon. Don't talk about the surgeon for people's, spoilers' sake. Don't talk about that. But if you haven't read or watched it, please. It's on Hulu. I don't think it's on Crunchyroll. I think that's why a lot of people aren't watching it. But it's on Hulu. Go watch that shit because there are Hulu free trials. You can go use that free trial for that. Go please and watch this anime because this needs to blow up. And the reason I'm talking about this is because just yesterday I actually saw a tweet. I have it pulled up. Who tweeted it? The Anime News Network. Go follow them. They're really good for manga/anime news. Go follow them if you need to keep up to date with stuff. They tweeted yesterday that the season 2 of Tokyo Ghoul's anime will premiere in January. And I think that's really impressive because, number one, season 1 is only 12 episodes. Which is fine. That's pretty typical for animes. They have really short seasons or something like that. They have to wait for the manga to advance enough that they are not trailing on the heels and have to make something up for the sake of, continuing the story and not just all of a sudden putting it on hiatus. The difference is, and I mentioned this earlier with comparing it to Naruto, Tokyo Ghoul as a manga is already completed. It's only 148 chapters. Go read that if you can. I'm not sure where it's produced, but I will let you know as soon as I find out. But you need to go read this because it's so different than everything that you've really seen or read. And people said this about Attack on Titan. And Attack on Titan is a good series. I watch Attack on Titan. I read Attack on Titan. Just read the new chapter last night, actually. But that's beside the point. The manga is already completed. It's only 148 chapters. But the difference between the Attack on Titan manga and the Tokyo Ghoul manga, at least from a visual standpoint, obviously there's story differences because they're two different stories. But the production value of Tokyo Ghoul is ridiculous. Like, this is the first manga I've been able to read where I'm not like, what the fuck is happening? Because, everything gets kind of blurred and, they have to make it look actiony, but you can actually tell what's going on. And the way that they draw everything, the detail they put into it all, is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't read, watch this, find some way to do so. Please, you need to do this for your own sake. You need to find something that will progress past Naruto and do that for your own sake. You want to. Anime is a really nice art form. And don't let Naruto, while Naruto is a decent series for people to watch and enjoy it as you please, but you really should treat yourself to more than just one series. And I mean that. Go watch it if you haven't. Please, go check it out. Go enjoy it because I know you will once you get past the blood and guts and stuff. But that's beside the point. I will talk to you guys next time. And if you guys have any Tokyo Ghoul theories or whatnot with the manga series ending, go ahead and put that down there in the comments and let me talk to you about it because this shit is really interesting. I like theorizing about things like this with a series that's still going on. I say it's still going on because, like yesterday, it got tweeted out that a sequel series is going to be released come this month. So there is no better time to get involved with this series than right now. Go check it out. Go enjoy it. I'm sure you will. It's really fascinating. It's a really good story. Real nice tragedy elements if you're into that kind of thing. Go watch it, go read it, go do something, go enjoy that shit right now. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm gonna go fap to that fight one more time. Later. Okay, so while I was recording that and releasing the review or editing it together, sorry, I got really excited. A new teaser trailer for Season 2 got released, whatever. There'll be a link to that in the description. Go check that shit out because, oh my god, I hate teasers because they hype you up so bad, but they don't give you shit. Fuck, okay, I'm done now. Bye. Talk to you guys later. Watch this shit.